Here is a further objection to the ontological argument from the modern philosopher Bertrand Russell. Born in Monmouthshire, Russell was known for his influence in mathematics and in philosophy, particularly the philosophy of language and epistemology. He was deeply impressed by the work of Leibniz and labelled himself an agnostic, although he claimed that religion was largely harmful and little more than superstition. Russell firstly argues against the ontological argument by claiming that existence is not a predicate. If it was, then we could construct the following syllogism. Men exist. Santa Claus is a man. Therefore, Santa Claus exists. This syllogism appears to be a valid argument, yet we know the conclusion is wrong. The false conclusion is reached because of the misuse of the word man in the second premise. Santa is a fictional male character who belongs in a different category to the men referred to in the first premise, so we cannot make the jump to the conclusion that Santa exists. Russell says that existence is not a property of things, but of the ideas of those things. Russell gives the example of dragons. We have an idea of what the word dragon means. Therefore, to say that dragons do not exist is to say that of all the things that exist, none of them are referred to by the word dragon. Russell then has put Anselm's argument into different terms. He states that to label and define something is to provide an intention concerning the object under discussion. Here it is important to notice the spelling of the word intention. This is a philosophical term. It means the internal content of a term or a definition of a term. An intention has meaning as an analytic statement. It is basically semantic. It is a definition of language. Therefore, if I were to say that a cow is a quadruped with udders and so on, my intention would be to describe a cow. I am defining it. This is my internal concept of a cow. The fact that a cow exists provides an extension to my intention. Extension, as a philosophical term here, means the range of applicability. This is synthetic and pragmatic. We must look at the intention and consider out of the things that exist what is there practically in the world which applies to this intention. Therefore, existence is an extension of an intention, not a predicate of an intention. It is to do with whether or not anything has a reality that can be described by that intention. When we conceive of a cow, it is easy to accept its existence, because we see cows in a field. The same can be said for most things that we have experienced. Can we say the same about that than which nothing greater can be conceived? Russell would support Anselm's claim that God is the greatest thing we can think of, but not Anselm's belief that this proves God's existence in reality. Is there an extension to the intention that than which nothing greater can be conceived? Well, on the one hand, Russell would say, yes, there is, because ideas exist, and that than which nothing greater can be conceived is the totality of all ideas. Therefore, God does exist as an idea. However, he would also argue no, because he would say that ideas do not have to have a physical extension, and there is no other evidence to suggest that this one does.